Are you looking to tap into your positive energy? Have you been struggling? Are you feeling down or empty within? And you just want something to pick you up, to inspire you, to help you feel good? This is going to be the episode for you because we're going to talk about how to tap into your zone of genius so that you can be fulfilled and experience the positive life that you deserve. My name is Henry, and this is the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we come together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build a positive mindset. Before we dive into this message, we're going to take some deep, powerful, meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. So you can pick a word. It can be joy. It can be happiness. It can be love, whatever frequency you want. And we're going to take a deep breath in, and as you're breathing in, you're going to say that word over and over and over again. Really charge yourself up with that energy. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize yourself doing something in that frequency. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you, and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. We're going to take another deep breath. This one is about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so that we can receive the message that we need to hear to get us in that positive perspective. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It could have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down the negativity, the blocks, the weight, everything that's just been holding you back. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you, and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. So something I'm starting to realize is that this experience, this life that we're living, has different dimensions to it. Meaning there's different things going on, and sometimes we're not paying attention to the most important. You see, we live life looking externally. We see what's in front of us next, we see what other people are doing, and we move forward in that sense. And on one hand, yes, we have to do that. We live in a physical reality. We have to interact with the things and events that are happening. But we are also much more than this person just experiencing life. We have the ability to create what it is that we observe. And I'm starting to realize that there's this thing called flow state. And I've mentioned it before, but I've recently really tapped into it. And what happens when you're tapped into flow state is your zone of genius comes alive. What your zone of genius is the version of you that sees the perspective that is necessary to move forward in your vision. When you have a vision, then you're able to move forward in the direction that is fulfilling. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling down, no matter where your life's at, maybe you're struggling financially, maybe you're in a bad living situation, maybe everything's good on paper, but you're still empty within. This is where I'm finding if you're not connected to source, if you're not locked in to your zone of genius, you feel lost. You feel empty because you're not tapped in to our true source energy. So how do you do that? We have to stop trying to fix our situation, meaning we have to stop looking for the opposite of what we're in, because that's what we tend to do. If you're at school and you're not enjoying school, we tend to think about when we're done with school. If you're at a job that you don't like, you start to think about, well, a job that I would like. If you're in a relationship that you're not happy with, you start thinking about another relationship that would make you happy. And while those things might be true, that's not solving the internal issue. You are a powerful enough being that no matter what situation you're in, you should feel right within. And so when you change your focus to trying to get to that space where you're right within despite what is going on externally, then you'll be amazed how the external world will start to change as you do. I've said this before and I feel like I'm saying it over and over and over, but we have to understand that the world is not as it is. The world is as you are. That doesn't mean things aren't what they are. It's just your perception of them changes. And when your perception of them changes, what you can do with it and what you feel about it changes as well. So if you want to tap in to your zone of genius, the infinite intelligence, source energy, whatever you want to call it, it starts with building your vision. You see, when you build your vision, you are constructing an idea of the highest version of yourself having that experience. It's not necessarily about the things that version of you has. Of course, it's amazing to attract them. It's about who you are while you have them. So you might envision the house, you might envision the car, you might envision the money. That might be the start. But in the end, who is the person that's there? How does that person look at the world? How does that person look at the situation? How does that person serve the people around them? And when you build that person up, when you truly see it, you will find that guidance starts to happen. At first, you feel like you're creating this dream. You're trying to envision it. You're trying to make it a reality. But the more time, day in and day out, that you spend in this reality that you're making, all of a sudden, things will make sense. The way you look will make sense. It'll feel right. What you have will make sense. It'll feel right. The people that you're around will make sense. It'll feel right, because that's when the zone of genius starts to apply itself. That's when that vision truly starts to matter. It almost feels like when you're doing things out of alignment with that vision, that you're at a loss. It's probably how you're feeling right now. You just don't have the vision. And so when you do that and you continue to build that in your mind, you continue to go there daily, it becomes a reality. From there, you have to figure out, how do I create this? I know where I want to go. How do I get there? Well, perspective, which is the way you view things in your mind, is the next step. But if you want to know the perspective you need, all you have to do is look at that version of you that you've created in your mind. How does that person view the world? Yes, that person might be wealthy now. That person might be away from the situation that's hurting you right now. That person may have healed from whatever it is that you're struggling, but how does that person view things? What I am statements would that person have about them? And then once you understand those, you bring those into your mind. So what you're doing is you're taking the lens that that version of you sees the world and put it within your mind. When you start putting it in your mind and reinforcing it, you start seeing the world as that version sees the world. And when you do that, it helps you align to the path you're supposed to take. The last piece is the actions. And this is where the fulfillment comes from. Because to know something and to not do it is to not know it. So if you know the energy that you want to be in, you know the thought process, you know what you're supposed to do, but when you don't do it, you don't feel the energy. If you don't feel the energy, you don't know it. That's why I say so many of us are actually more powerful than we thought. Because if you're in a difficult situation where love is missing, where forgiveness is missing, maybe it's because you came here for an experience to create it where it didn't exist. And when you create it where it doesn't exist, you truly know it, and then you truly have something you can give to the world. So you have your vision, then you have your mindset, then the last piece is making sure your daily actions and habits are in alignment with the perspective that you're seeing the world. When you start seeing things and you start thinking with the mindset of something like, I am healthy and I make healthy decisions, when you build that within your mind, but then during the day, you make food decisions that don't align with that. You make exercise decisions that don't align with that. Your daily habits don't align with being healthy and making healthy decisions. It won't manifest. But when they start to, and then you clearly link it, meaning you get up, and we're going to say the healthy one, you get up, and you do your exercise. And then in your mind, you're feeling yourself do the exercise, you're working out, you think about how you said, I am healthy and I make healthy decisions. And then you point your vision to that version of you, whether it's a year or 2 years, 3 years, 4 years in the future, existing because of the work you're doing today. Then maybe it's your food decision. You pick something healthy, you pick something that's good for you, you eat it, you do the same thing. You remind yourself that you are healthy and you make healthy decisions. You enjoy the food because you know each bite of that food you take makes the future you, that vision that you've created, more of a reality. Over time, momentum starts picking up. Over time, you're able to consistently tap into your higher self. When you tap into your higher self, you're in your zone of genius. The way you see things start to change. The solutions you need to solve your problems start to present themselves. So if you're feeling down, if you're feeling negative, don't think that you're wrong, that you're bad, or you should be anything different. Recognize it for what it is. It's your higher self calling you to create the vision and become it. It's an alert. It's a sign to rise up and become the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was impactful and gave you a positive perspective on your current situation. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link down below. It will keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on social media, there's my TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook down below. I appreciate all the people that have followed there as well. And if you're listening to this podcast and you're ready to make that next step and you want to expedite it, you really want to supercharge your shift, I'm a coach. This is what I do. I actually have 2 programs now. One is for the individual, someone that just wants to shift into that positive energy. They really want to build their mindset. They want to create a vision. They want to align themselves with it in the mind and then build healthy habits that will make it a reality. That's my one-on-one coaching program. But I've also developed a Zone of Genius program. This is for business owners, entrepreneurs, people that are feeling lost in their business. If you're feeling lost in your business and you want to realign yourselves, you want to make a crystal clear vision. Maybe it's a different version of what you had before or reinforcing what you had. And then you want to build your core values, the mindset of all the people working here, so that way they're thinking in alignment with your vision. And then you want to create a program, a platform, a list of duties that everybody in your organization follows for their unique position, so that way it's the same flow of genius that you used to create the business, to launch the business, that they can tap into to move you forward to the next level of success. If you're interested in any of the coaching programs, you can reach out to me on Instagram, or there's a link down below. If you fill that out, I will reach out to you directly. And if you just enjoyed the content and you want more, check out my Unlock Your Abundance. It's all about tapping into that wealth energy expansion. There's new episodes coming out every single weekday at the same time as this one. So if you want to check it out, there's a link down below for that as well. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.